tell you something. It's always something with me and her. She always, I'm sorry, we have to come on the live laughing. Let's come on the live laughing. Welcome, everyone. I told Miss J, I see some people on your page. It's some newbies. Welcome to Wind Down Fridays. I am their mail. This is Mrs. Jefferson Says. We appreciate you all for being here. But if you're new, I want y'all to walk in with some home training. Make sure you like the live. Like the live before we get it started today. Like the live, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Here we go. I got y'all on the. I got my screens mixed up. Listen, it's been a day. It's been a day. Hello, y'all. We weren't laughing at y'all. We was laughing at me. Okay. First of all, I sent millionaire mail. I sent mail in a panic because even though I be like this close to being late all the time, and I was like 5 minutes late this morning, I usually like I'm the person that I'm still technically late, but I'm there. So I'm getting the car, my shoes, my purse, my makeup. I got everything with me. I'm just gonna do it in the car. And I'm usually like that when I come to the live, but I'm usually trying to be ready on time. And it took me a couple minutes. I was literally running back to the office with the Moscato, the wine opener. Then I realized I left the thing to get the foil off, and then I needed a glass, so I ran back. Next thing I know, my phone was ringing. Mel thought, she usually hears something got to be wrong.
Never her. It's never her. It's always me. I'm not ashamed. It's always me. The Lord is still working with me. It's always me. So I got off a phone call at like 7:27. I was like, I got to get off. We got to wind down. And I know Miss J already in the back office. And I know she waiting. And I said, Lord, let me hurry up. I got back here. She went back here. I said, okay. I said, the messages. I'm talking in the comments. And then I said, hold on, it's 7:30. Then it's 7:30. I said, let me know. She might be. I said, something must be going on with the boy. What's going on? It's never her. It is always me.
Oh gosh.
It's me. It's never me. And this is our second show that we've done together because we do WTF too. We do with Kayla. Now, I would like to publicly say on WTF, typically it's Kayla. It's not neither one of us.
She gonna say, they me now.
It's not there. But on here, like normally, like we pretty much, we're on here. We're pretty much always on time here because Miss J in that back office and she texting. You got the link? You back there?
Ready? Listen.
Hey, I did get word. I said, wait a minute. I said, let me call my friend. She's not back here yet. Hold on.
So I did the only logical thing when she was like, you need to go ahead and get that thing open because I got this thing going, y'all. It's just making all kind of noise. So she said, you need me to wait? I said, go ahead and open it. This is all Brennan's fault. This is Brennan's fault. So that's what we was happening. I blame him.
He said it's Brennan's fault. It's his fault. I need to actually pull up because we can look at we'll see with some clips from today if you wanted to do that.
Listen, if you want to get that I might have to find it. It was that last part of his when he said, my experts had data. They ain't make up a dog.
I would like to say people have tried to like hype Hank up, and he's probably a really great defense attorney, but he has done nothing but piss me off this entire trial.
Yeah.
I expected so much more from the closing that we got today. It did not feel like he sat down and really thought this through. You know how sometimes, and I'm one of these people, not ashamed to admit it. Sometimes people who procrastinate, we feel like we do our best work at the last minute. He probably wrote that shit this morning. He probably wrote that this morning. And that's why I was so all over the place.
You know what? I honestly feel like, to be honest, I'm not going to lie. I've said it a couple times while we were live watching and always liken it to me being a boxing because I love watching boxing. Don't nobody want to see no quick quick knockout. Even if you got a favorite or you want to know, you got your, oh, come on, because, we know Tank got a fight coming up. Everybody will, probably want Tank to win. But don't nobody want to see him do like a Mike Tyson McNeely and knock him down in a minute and 30 seconds. I didn't get all ready, sit down, get my food ready for you to just knock him out. I expected Hank to fight. Now, I know I've told you, I've said it in some lives that I was kind of disappointed. Like the crash outs are we're starting to get way crazy. Like the crash outs.
What? You said you did what now?
I said what? I told you in them.
No, tell me what you just said. You said in?
Huh?
Did you say you said in some lives?
No, I didn't say. Now you know.
I didn't know what you said. What?
Now, I don't get to go jumping in lives, but
like what?
No, I didn't know. I said it. I think I said it in some of my lives,
Thank you.
On YouTube. That I kind of felt bad, even though I don't care for his antics, even though I don't care for his performance. I don't, of course, don't know him personally. Yeah. Professionally, I would never want to see something that somebody worked so hard for, their degree, their position, their accolades, their accomplishments. Like you probably got student loans, sleepless nights you prayed over tests. Like you took that bar exam, dummy. So you're going to be an attorney after Karen Reed. Like, why are we not looking at the future too? Like, why are we throwing it all away on this? Like, you're not verifying people's credentials. You're talking to people crazy. You look like a toddler having a tantrum. Like it's just getting ridiculous. And so I would never want somebody to crash out. Oh, Eric. I don't think they would invite me back, but I would do it. But it's just so with Hank, I think I was just kind of hoping that today, since I knew he was going to get the last word, I'm like, today is your day, Hank.
Me too.
Because there's nothing you can do about the doubt. The doubt is there. There's nothing he can do about that. But I was going to say today was Hank's day, because by him being a defense attorney at heart, being able to get the last word, I thought he was going to be able to jump on it, catch that AJ was putting down, and have a rebuttal for it on top of it. He was not able to pivot. He heard AJ talk about them diffusers, that dog, and everything else he didn't do. And that fool said, John O'Keefe was 46 years old.
What you say, friend? He gave a eulogy.
I didn't give him a eulogy. Ain't none of y'all go to the funeral. I don't want to hear nothing about no funeral. Shut your ass up. We know how old he was. You ain't said nothing about John. You ain't called him a nickname. You ain't say nothing about him personally. You ain't said a damn thing about John. You've been talking about Karen Reed this whole time. You ain't made John a person. You ain't made him an officer. You ain't made him a hero. You ain't made him human this whole damn trial for 8 weeks. And today, John O'Keefe was 46 years old. Shut up. Shut up.
When I saw that, I said, oh, this is the route we're going. We want to act like you really care about John. I personally still, for the life of me, can't understand how John was a police officer, right? They did not handle this case as if one of their own passed.
At all. They handled it like John was a known crackhead.
That's what it gave.
They handled this like he was a crackhead. They really did. They did not handle him like he was even a good person. They didn't handle this like he was human. They handled this strictly regarding Karen Reed. This had nothing to do with John.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with John. They used John at the end because that was the best mic drop he can give. And unfortunately, while he had John's picture up, he still took that moment where he could have humanized John to take a dig at Karen. He's not a buffalo on the prairie. Like,
Tasha was just saying that. Tasha was just saying that.
It's like, you still took a dig.
It was, hey, Yates. I personally, I want to see good lawyering. And I wanted Hank to, as best he could, right, try to sum this case up and tell me this is your last shot. Tell me why she did it. He could not give me any science. And I think that's what I'm still pissed about. He just couldn't use the science. Because like people, our brains, our memories, we can't always, they're not reliable. They're not 100% reliable. But I felt like if we could have used the science, I'm going to trust that science over Jennifer McCabe. What does the science say? And he just didn't touch on any of it.
If somebody come to me and asks me every single thing that AJ said, Unetti said, I'm probably not going to remember it.
Yep.
However, if you look me square in my face and tell me a bold-faced lie, I'm going to remember if it was a lie. You can't look at me and say, we ain't make up no dog. Now, wait a minute. You tell me Chloe ain't Cora and Cora ain't real? Like, wait a minute. Now, I know there was a dog. I don't remember much, but there was a dog. Okay?
There was a dog.
There was a dog.
And talking about the dog.
I said Brennan was going to be butthurt before he got up. As soon as AJ said, 8 damn weeks, and they ain't bring one damn person to talk about dog bites. Now, AJ, you knew that was in that man's rebuttal, and he came up the rebuttal at that moment. All he wanted to do, Hank just do stuff that make me know I'm not crazy. Hank said that woman couldn't say dog bite. She couldn't say tooth. She couldn't say animal bite. Then he get up there and say, don't this little piece of glass look like a shark tooth?
Oh,
talk about an animal.
Let me
talk about teeth.
That right there was another moment. And this week I hadn't even been uploading like I want to online. Maybe this weekend. But that was another moment that pissed me off. Does that kind of look like a sharp tooth to you? She said, well, I can't tell what the edges are looking at the picture. Like, what kind of... She thought Hank was an idiot. If you were to go call Dr. La Posada right now, what did you think of Hank Brennan? She would say idiot. You wouldn't even say he's an idiot. Just idiot, period. Okay? Idiot.
My sister called me. You know, she don't really watch the trial. She called me. She said, hey, I saw Miss Frizzle hand it to his ass yesterday.
Not Miss Frizzle.
She said she would tear his ass up. I started watching her on TikTok. I said, yes, she did. Yes, she did. Oh my God. I said, oh my God.
Dr. La Posada. I thought Dr. La Posada was great, but who did I love more than Dr. La Posada? Is it Rechler?
Uh-huh.
So you didn't see the first trial, but let me tell you this. That's not who we got the last trial. He wasn't even up there 2 hours, I don't think. He was not up. I'm talking about in and out. Who we got right here?
I was looking at the Rico.
First of all, he dyed his hair. His hair was damn near full gray last trial. It's like he
back looking like a hair.
He got a haircut. Thank you for the super chat. He got a haircut. He dyed his hair, and he came back, got in his bag. He didn't, because remember the last trial, the defense could only ask them if they could testify. It really wasn't much, coordinating how they were going to get there. It wasn't like this trial where we got to say, this is what we're thinking. Excuse me. This is what we're thinking happened. We did not get this man the last trial. Dr. Wolf was up there much longer than him. When I tell you, it felt like he was in and out. This trial, he got in his bag.
Because, baby, when he told them, he said, listen, I don't care about that. When he said, that's tertiary. Ain't no debris field. I don't care how you explain how I got over there. If you want me to believe that came from a collision, first we got to start at the collision. I'm not working my way backwards because there's some shit in the yard. Listen. And
it makes sense. He said it's not even possible for the accident to happen here and for it to be. I wondered that the first trial, once we figured out where his body was, how did she back into him? And he somehow, first of all, they said she never really left the flagpole. So if she went back 30, 80 feet, whatever the people said, how did she go so far back? He still flew all the way back up to the flagpole.
Well, all I got to say is, ain't no way you should ever call her drunk. That sounds like a superhero to me. If you can go back at 24 miles per hour in reverse, in the dark, in some snow, with that kind of aim. Let me tell you something. She ain't touched nobody else's car. Wasn't nobody else in danger. And didn't they say they saw the tire marks in the street?
Remember, Jen testified to seeing tires. Now, she didn't see him laying in the yard, but she looked across the street and saw tire tracks.
That's where I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Karina. She wasn't damn drunk. I'm gonna go with Karen's interview when it's a weak pour. That must have been soda and lime, because there's no way. First of all, most folks can't parallel park good, let alone at 2 to 4 miles per hour, let alone going 24 backwards. They gonna tear the whole block up.
She was able to do it after all of those drinks.
Oh, let me tell you something. Speaking of going backwards.
What?
When AJ, I kept saying, so one of my questions to my chat today was what was going to be the wrapping paper, what was going to be the bow, like the closings. They're supposed to wrap this up, tie a bow on it, and hand it to the jury. And even though we know closings are not evidence, how are they going to tie this together? What's going to be the bow that's going to be something that's just undeniable? And my chat, y'all, I'm still mad at y'all about this. I ain't get no clear answer for the prosecution. They just said lies. They gonna lie. They gonna wrap it in a lie. The bow gonna be a lie. It's gonna be a lie. So when it came to AJ, you never guessed what that bow would be. When AJ came about that diffuser, saying that the light can't work without it. Mm-hmm. And at 5:07 a.m., after she done busted all the hell on John, allegedly, the light was working. I don't care if at this point, I don't care if it was red. I don't care if it was white. I don't care if it had rainbow colors over it. If it was working, then the diffuser was not broken. It wasn't damaged. So why now is the tail light so broken that it'll never work? So it should have never lit up.
That's the same thing that ARCA was kind of saying with their testing at certain, I don't remember the specific miles per hour, all of that was messed up. So how do we explain, like you said, Karen's light? I was listening to a live today of a lot of people on there who believe she's guilty, and one of the questions they asked is, are we really going to sit here and act like this entire police department wanted to frame a woman they don't know? Here's the thing. We don't know if that's what happened, but we're telling you that's what it looks like, because this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. If her tail light, if we're looking at these experiments, and the diffuser would break at a certain mile per hour would cause a particular impact, what are we to believe? And you still can't tell me why was the tail light why wasn't it on the street?
Well, this is my thing. Why do we have to jump to, if Karen's not guilty, then that automatically means an entire police department has to be corrupt? Why is that the jump? Why are we going from 0 to 100? Why is that the jump? Why is the only way that your brain can wrap your feeble mind around this is that everybody got to be bad? Now, we didn't say everybody got to be bad, because at this point now, I want to understand your logic as to why the Alberts and the McCabes is everybody. Why the fuck is they everybody? What we're saying is, we all know that there are probably amazing cops in the Canton PD. There are amazing cops in the Massachusetts State Police. There are amazing cops in them alphabet boys that are around there to protect and to serve, and probably don't have a damn thing to do with a Albert, a McCabe, a Higgins, or otherwise. What we saying is their little clique has gone unchecked for so long. So why is the question not, why has that police department not pulled out and cut out the infection? Why have they not done their own surgery? Why did it make it to Karen? Why you ain't handling your shit in-house? Because I guarantee, just look at Higgins. He looked like he done stole lunch out the refrigerator. He do. He looked like he done something he ain't got no business. He looked like the type person go in there, clog up the commode and say he don't know who went in there when everybody saw him come out. He looked like he lied for no reason. Mm-hmm. Why did the little shit that he probably did? Because like Pop always say, once is an anomaly, twice is a trend. Why did we get past 2? So why wasn't he checked when he was doing the little things? Because those little things turned into, I'll dump my own phone. When has that ever been a thing? When has that ever been a thing? So what did we do before that? Before he was able to just turn in piece of a text message. Before he was able, so it progressively got there. I'm sure that Brian Albert didn't walk around that police station like this, like he was big bad. Don't come in my house, don't question me, don't talk to me. I'm sure there were things that he did that went unchecked for years as a pattern over. I'm sure that there's usually, like most cities, most states, most counties have a rule that you can't sell liquor after a certain time, or you can't serve it after a certain time. But D&E were open for them. D&E would go down there and serve after hours. D&E, so they were probably in there talking and drinking. How many times did D&E go unchecked? You see what I'm saying? Like, they probably have done things outside of the rules, colored outside the lines so many times that everybody was like, just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. Till you realize they're not even in your coloring book no more. They just skipped over to another section in another library in another state. They out here doing things they have no business doing, and then they're recruiting folks to pad the bullshit. Now it's just not Canton PD. They got Canton PD and Boston PD. Yep. Now, because it had to be a time where Kevin Albert would never drink and come to work. There was something that led up to him drinking in a cop car. There's
just laying your weapon around. Like, what?
They've been unchecked. And then when they probably are supposed to be handed down concrete consequences, they were probably slaps on the wrist. That's probably why they knew what they could do to get away with what they could get away with. We're not saying all of Canton PD is bad, but I'm saying when you do something like this, we don't know shit about the Massachusetts State Police. We don't know nothing about. All we know is Proctor. We know one damn name. But every time you say Proctor, that's going to be synonymous with MSP until MSP cuts out the cancer. After this, then they'll probably be able to have a world without Proctor. But as long as there's a Karen Reed, there's going to be a Proctor. And unfortunately, MSP is going to be tied to that.
Please don't say cancer. Didn't Hank say that's a bit much? Don't say cancer.
It's a bit much. Well, I hate that all AJ said today was infection. Hank put 20 on 10. Hank was one of them kids. He was definitely one of them kids when he was losing in tag and he didn't want to be it. You tag him, then he fall, trip, roll on the ground, pass out like he crazy. And he probably got that ugly, dumb cry. You know them kids. Just he probably went down.
Brittany, I want to bring Brittany's comment up here because Brittany said she thought he went too far. Brittany, let me say this. The last trial, I did not see what AJ was saying because they didn't present it to us this way. I don't even remember us seeing him being held back. But when you watch that video, Brittany, every context with everything, he gives that girl that kiss. He texts her. He texts Karen. He was clearly feeling away because she did not speak to him. Everyone said she didn't speak to him. She was clearly feeling away. Now, seeing Chris Albert hold him back aggressively like that, it definitely looked like he was trying to stop him from doing something. And it didn't look like he was trying to stop him from breakdancing. It looked like he was trying to stop him. But what sealed it for me more, Brittany, if you go back and look, is when he did the. I said, it looked like he was saying,
your ass.
Bring your ass outside. But I didn't see it last trial because they did not present this to us. I don't even know if they showed this go around. I'm like, well, damn. And then you think about that. That did kind of look confrontational. And then you couple that with the fact that him and John not friends. They don't really talk, but you texting him, are you coming here? It's giving, we gonna finish this up at the house.
No, let me tell you something. Couple things I'm gonna add to that, but I'll tell y'all that at the beginning of the trial, when I watched that video, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at the beginning of this trial. I didn't watch the first trial. I didn't get that, Brittany. I will give you that. I was looking at something else because these people was already seeming like they was some upside down pineapple people to me. On the fact that these two grown men was like shadow boxing and what did Hank said today? They're playing grapple. Listen, whatever they were doing something. They were doing, that was the evidence to me that play fighting or whatever they were doing. That was two grown men play fighting in the bar. You've been drinking too much. It's time to go home. Y'all should have been home 2 shots ago. That's where I took that. But now with the context, and the way he explained it, in an ordinary world, like, please don't tell me you having that type of sucker attack. Like, you really crashing out over a girl that ain't yours, that is with the man she was with when you start texting her.
You started texting her.
The thing is, they have been drinking since that morning. You know, when
hours of drinking.
Listen, I don't know about y'all, okay? But I'll just say, hypothetically, when I'm drunk, hypothetically, if I've had a little too much, I hear shit people didn't exactly say yet. Excuse you. That's the time when you take me home. Who's she talking to? Take me home. Get me out of there, okay? Like, so I think that Higgins was absolutely he had what he said, the ginger and whatever it was, this ginger and whatever he had way too much
ginger,
the ginger and his whatever liquor he had. He's been drinking all day. So at the beginning, I missed it. Okay, I didn't see the forest for the trees. I saw two grown men, and then they tried to explain away what I know my grown ass eyes saw as the Heimlich. Now, nobody choking, and you know good and well, Higgins don't miss a chew, so he ain't choking on nothing. So you want me to believe that he getting a Heimlich like he miscalculated a chew? I think not. So I saw it like that at first, but when you sit back and get the context, and then you hear it like that, then you catch him looking at John. First of all, it wasn't just Karen that pissed him off. John pissed him off too. Because when John turned around, looked at him and did this and then drank the beer at him, he told him he wasn't really a factor, and that pissed him off, okay? Like he was in a video game, he was still ready to play fight. He had lost his marbles. He really did.
Yeah.
He really did. I think that, but again, I'm also of the mind that Higgins was in love by like day 4, and they was chatting for 2 weeks.
Just day 4? Shit.
I think he was in love by day 4. I
think day 14, he was still like, hey, he probably was waking up. You know how still
he was rereading them.
Rereading them messages.
He was rereading them. Let me tell you something. I bet you right now.
She think we alike. Just randomly picking up their phone, his feet kicked up, just wiggling them toes. She think we just.
Let me tell you something. I bet you Higgins can't walk past a weed whacker right now without crying. Oh, man. She was be mad. It was me. Listen, he can't do yard work. He got to call somebody over there.
Yeah, call somebody else because that weed whacker gets him emotional.
It make him emotional. It bring up too many things. about life for him. It makes him think about life and direction and where they would have been right now for what John had.
Where they would have gone, where this would have gone, baby.
He definitely, and when he didn't get, now if he would have got a response to those text messages, I don't think he would have been doing that. But I really feel like he was like, he used to be my
Ash, I can just see
shoot. He probably be at home singing it. That's probably what he listened to when he slid down the shower wall in despair. Then he go outside, somebody got a weed whacker. He just go back to the house. Okay, I'll try again tomorrow.
He go nowhere.
Can't go nowhere.
Oh God.
Can't go nowhere. He probably still got them text messages. They was probably in his ID. He probably re-downloaded that mess. Y'all know he did. And at this point, he probably still don't got a girlfriend. He probably went back, called that girl, don't be locking her doors. He probably just take what he can get right now.
Just whatever.
Just
whatever. I mean, it's just sad. It's really Brittany just said something again because I wondered why we were talking about this. Hold up. That's Kira. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, it's too many comments. Y'all got some good comments out here. You're right. I can't understand them going over there if that's what was happening at the waterfall. Just go home. Nothing good is coming of that. And sadly, now we're here. Let me say this, Brittany. I do agree with you. I am of the mind Karen was picking up on something because although we think she talked too much in those interviews, I think there's a lot she didn't say.
She ain't say.
And a lot, and part of that is what was going on between her and John in that car. There's a reason she did not get out the car. Because here's the thing, if we're at the waterfall, I'm with my man, I'm with all these people. Why am I sending you in to make sure it's okay if I come in? Hell, we were just together. They got to know I'm with you. Why am I sending you in to make sure it's okay? I really do think she was very hesitant. I think people said something about her stomach was hurting, all of these things. I think a little piece of it as well was Brian Higgins was there. And I think John had to have known. What was all of that?
Right there, because y'all know Big Unc, he'll tip in, he'll say hey to everybody, he know it's Karen Reed. That's all he know. He don't know really the ins and outs. I told y'all he sat not last night, but the night before. Or was it last night? He sat last night and was like, hold on. Who did it? Like he was catching like something on court TV and they were like talking about everything up into the closing arguments. Today, it had peaked Big Unc because he don't understand why we even at a trial right now.
Nobody does.
He doesn't understand it. He thinks he's missing something. So now Big Unc, that's the whole conversation he had all the way back from dropping off the rental car today. Okay, he got to talk about why or how did we end up in court. So he starts watching part of the closings. He's going back. He's catching clips. He's just watching it on court TV. He's not watching court. Big Unc says, oh, John knew. He knew. He said, because if I know, he said, I don't know if he knew about the text messages, but he knew Higgins wanted his woman. He said, because I guarantee, he said, I know every eyeball that's on you when you out. Because everybody that know me know I'm not coming off the dance floor. And Big Unc gonna be sitting there like this, looking like a head, like I forced him to come, even though it was probably his idea. So Big Unc, I'm, my head is always on the swivel. So I know, when somebody, looking at this, that, and the other, he was like, but I for sure know if it's somebody that's a little bit much or it's somebody that we know likes you or used to talk to you back in the day or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm totally gonna walk. He's like, first of all, thought John was going to the bar to buy Higgins a drink. He said, because that's what I'd have did. I'd have sent him a drink. Here you go. Calm down, Thirsty. Like, but then I was like, no, he was paying the bill. And he said, I'm telling you, when he looked over in his direction and took a sip at him, he was letting him know he was unbothered. I see.
That's what it felt like to me
too. I was like, okay, so even though it might not have been so the whole time, John is cool with Cucumber because this is mine. There is no argument. Higgins mad that he ain't John. And Higgins has been drinking. Higgins is upset. And then Higgins tried to flex his muscle a little bit. Higgins tried to kind of show his little pimp hand like, she yours, but she been texting me.
You know, he was embarrassed. You know, he told Brian Higgins. You know, on that long ride or at some point, he has shared, because keep in mind, John is not their friend like that. They are friendly, as they like to say in Canton. They were friendly, but that was not his friend. So we would be foolish if we were to sit here and believe Higgins did not tell Brian. And who Brian sleep with at night? Who does Brian sleep with that night? Nicole. Who is Nicole's sister? They all knew.
And the crazy thing was, I really feel like, hey, okay.
Matrisa, Karen said, according to the messages to Brian Higgins, which I don't feel like she really had I don't know, she could have lied, because she also tried to say he talks about you and then tried to clear it up. She acted like he didn't see the actual kiss. He asked if something happened, because remember, she said she's a spy. She can duck and dodge cameras. She said, I know where the cameras are.
Yeah. I think for every piece of this, I feel like there was a lot of things that were happening between those 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of things that were between the lines, whether it was weed whacker. Like, I don't believe for one moment that was the only time he drove past that house.
Me either.
That he drove past and saw her other times, seeing you again. That was a point of conversation for them. That's how he could have an end with her. So I really do believe, honestly, that Higgins was in love. Higgins never thought that was part of anything in his league. But I do think that Jen and Carrie and every other ill-built water buffalo that be in them clubs, I think they all looked at Karen and they had nothing on her. She had the job, she had the car, she had the money, she had the man, she had no kids, and she keep walking up in there and all they got to talk about with each other is their kids and getting drunk. So now Karen's the eye candy. She's the everything they didn't do, whatever they gave up, whatever choices or whatever sacrifices they made. Now Karen embodies all of that, and she keep bringing her ass around like we like her, but we like John. So what I believe that when Karen started speaking or texting or getting friendly with Higgins, that was their way to knock Karen down a peg. Look what you on. You look what you. Everybody knew that woman was talking to Higgins.
We know she wasn't no damn good. We knew it. John could do better.
John is slumming.
They probably say she's a whore. They probably didn't say he nothing great. She's a whore.
To be honest, it might be an unpopular opinion. I think Karen was a little naive to think that old girl didn't start it. I don't think Jen or Coco is the one that told. When Karen went and lied and said, "Oh, I said I had your number, but I lost it." Everybody know that every time you put in your Google information or your Apple information, all your contacts pop the hell up. So to go tell somebody in this day and age that you lost somebody's number, like it was written on a piece of paper for a day.
Oh, girl, okay.
Oh, girl went and told. Guess whose number she asked me for? So you know the girls was being chummy and he ain't never got that much damn attention. And they was probably, Brian, invite Brian over. Because they wanted the tea on Karen.
Or if it was innocent tea, right? Can you imagine this, that the girl thinking this an innocent conversation whole time they sucking it all up because now we got something on her?
Got something on her. They was building their case.
Yes. Y'all know she said they said it. Y'all come on now. Those at any point during the last trial or this trial, I have not gotten the feeling that these women really liked Karen. Right? They were friendly with her, they tolerated her, but no.
or Karina.
Oh, and you know why they ain't like Karina? Because Karina saw through their BS. Karina is beautiful. She has a great job and she has kids. She loved Karen. And let me tell you about Karina. I thought Karina was a really great witness. She seemed like, what would she lie for? What would Karina lie for? Karina said she talked to that woman for about 50 minutes. Now, in 50 minutes, I can tell if you're drunk. If I talk to you for 50 minutes,
yeah. Well, they said 110%. That even, like AJ said, begrudgingly, eventually Jen had to say, Karen wasn't that damn drunk. She might have been drinking, but she wasn't 2 shades to the wind. She wasn't taking a double step. She wasn't leaning to the left. She wasn't slurring her words. Like, nobody has said anything about Karen being drunk. Y'all just counting her.
Except the Commonwealth. And here's my issue with the Commonwealth. Bev, I don't think she did this last trial. I could be wrong. I don't remember everything she did, but she laid out to the jury how you verify if somebody's driving under the influence. And what it sounded like to me, they don't have. They didn't do a sobriety test. They didn't check the blood alcohol levels, any of it. No, all this stuff was done 9 hours later. That has to count for something. We don't know what she was like. Then they talked about her having MS and how her body would be different from someone who doesn't have MS. Do we know if she had drinks once she got to John's house? We don't know. I have seen a lot of people talk about a lot of liquor that Melanie cannot. Do you hear me? 6 drinks. I will not wake up to next Saturday. I can't do all of that. I don't.
You can do all that now, but
you're right.
Now, will crash out, leave 200 voicemails, call 53 time days. You definitely took a shot.
I wouldn't even think about it. To this day and age, I'm so terrified. I don't even go there. 2-3 drinks.
Listen, that's it right now. 2-3 drinks, and I'm gonna be recovering for 2-3 days. But I'm just saying, don't ever listen. There might have been a time in my younger day where a crash shot sounded like a amusement park to me. That's right. You want to ride? You like roller coasters? Let's do it. Up and down, we fucking go. Let's go. Like, I would really take that as a personal challenge. Oh, you gonna go in this house and not answer my call? And I'm answering again. I'm calling. You don't answer? I'm gonna sound like the Joker. The way I'm gonna cackle. I'm sitting there. The only reason I'm having a good laugh for a good crash out, okay? I'm thinking to myself exactly how I'm gonna do this, okay? And that's it. I commend Karen. She went home and got on the voicemail. She went home and got on the voicemail. Me? That whole front end would have been in their living room. Ding dong. Hello. Good morning. Y'all seen John? Because he ain't answering his phone. Like.
Sorry about that. Okay. I've left some voicemails before, y'all. I'm going to tell you, I've never been that determined to leave 53. Okay? I don't know. I think
this is going to be the point of contention, to be honest. The first thing they have to decide is whether or not there was a collision.
Mm-hmm.
That, it seems like somebody would go in there and say, what, no crash. But there are going to be people who in their brains cannot fathom how else taillight piece would get there unless it broke.
And I'd be the person talking about, this is the street. He was right here. How do you get from here? Like, that'd be me.
Listen, this is the thing. See, yeah, I'd be in trouble in that jury room because they sent them back there with a exemplar tail light. Come here, let me bust this up against your elbow because you really understand. I'm serious.
A welter experience.
No, we can do this ourselves. I don't think I can throw 24 miles per hour. You good? I'm gonna toss this. You hold your arm. Here, somebody give him a drink. Hold that, and I'm throwing it because what I need you to understand is a tail light don't crack like the eggshells that look like in those tests. Those things are hard. So if you mean to tell me that if I throw this at you, first of all, one, it's gonna hurt, but two, it's gonna hurt and it ain't gonna break. So let me keep throwing it till it break and see if you don't have a concussion.
Ash tell somebody to bring us some blue paint.
I just called it a kindergarten paint project.
Kindergarten paint project. When I tell you, I'll probably watch it again. It was only an hour and 15 minutes, but AJ really cut up. Oh my God, he really cut up.
He said it wasn't a check big enough that they could write to get somebody in here to say this wasn't a dog bite or that he got hit by a car. They spent $400,000 of tax.
When I tell you, T, he ate him up.
Somebody to dress up like John.
He said, "Play dress up."
Play dress up. And do a basic test that only confirms height.
Only confirm. T, can you explain to me how? And a lot of people told me that ARCA was paid about $350,000 less. How did they do so much more work?
Retained him for $50,000. I said for $50,000, you got 62 tail lights, 42 sweatshirts, 4 tests, all angles of the test, slow motion, speed it up. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Now, shit, do a dance with it. You got all this shit.
All of this. I'm gonna go back and watch it.
It's for $350,000 more. You got some blue paint, a sick, twisted, weird ass.
Y'all, the FBI paid them the last trial.
They were still under FBI the last time, but once they were retained by the Commonwealth, they paid $50,000. And remember, they were retained by the Commonwealth, and their new testing was just over Aperture's tests. So all those tests they did not do for the FBI the first time because FBI didn't give a shit about an Aperture. For $50,000, you could have got all that and pirouette Paul's turn because that dummy was swinging. You did all of that, and then to argue it, to discredit it, you can't even discredit it because.
Listen, she said I pointed out how sick that was if it wasn't for testing. What I thought was so terrible in Hank's closing was how you paid those people $400,000, and then in your closing, you said yourself the testing wasn't for the purpose of to show us what happened to John.
Represented what stance John was in, arm, foot.
What were we doing?
Well, I'm with AJ. So why was his arm bent up with a glass in it? Why was it right arm the right tail light if that's not what he represented?
Why do you have the same clothes as him on? Like you were really trying to reenact
right there. That was some sick, twisted mess down to the tennis shoes. Like you just gonna go get the whole outfit as if that makes a difference on where the Lexus hit you at. And then you still had to Christina Milian it and dip it low and bring it up slow in order to get the paint on you right.
It's just. Did you say Christina?
Yes. Now listen.
Lord, it was just too much.
Maybe you wouldn't rock with it. He had to.
No, the bringing his arm. But I will say this, I say again, when it comes to being a great lawyer and having a different set of eyes, listening. I know people love to say Nobody's listening to what you guys are saying online. Nobody cares what you think. Yes, they do. You can absolutely tell the defense, at least, heard what we were saying, and they adjusted when it came time for this trial. You can tell they did that. And you have to appreciate that they did that this time, because AJ was on the money. All the things we've been talking about, it was in their closing. It was in the closing.
Listen, you know for a fact that he definitely understood. He definitely understood the assignment, okay? Because when AJ got up there, first of all, AJ let us know he mean business, okay? AJ got the haircut. He put the Just for Men in his beard, made it look fuller. He got a little line up real quick. He must have heard us say quit putting on red, because when you turn red, when you start turning red, then warm colors start to come out. He came in all blue. Okay. This first time blue even looked right this whole time. Okay. He never, ever, ever did any of the things that we have absolutely been yelling about. He never did any of those things. All the things that we yelled about, like we don't care about that, or you really don't have to hone in on that. AJ cut out all the fluff.
He did.
He cut out all the fluff and he went and attacked it. But I always know in closings, they come with a piece of information that they cannot refute. And it's always a bigger risk for the defense, because we know that the prosecution is going to get the last word. So the biggest thing I thought AJ did today, besides the diffuser, is baiting Brennan. When he said, the Commonwealth put the holes in that sweatshirt.
Oh, T. When I tell you, people were
I did not expect him to say it like that.
It was so good though, because okay, Bev, you don't want to give an instruction about it. We'll put it in our closing.
I'll put it in my closing.
We'll talk.
He did not tell one lie.
We'll address it.
One lie. And the crazy thing is, he pulled a Brennan when he said the Commonwealth put them in that in the cut them holes. The Commonwealth put them holes in there, and I was like, they did. The Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab cut those holes. So when he said that, then explained himself, and then said, who would stoop to a stunt so low? It's embarrassingly desperate. He said he was standing on that blue paint till 2 days ago. So why is it not the basis now? Why are we stooping to stunts now? It's because they know what we know and what they experts know. He wasn't hit by no damn car.
And I think that's the problem. So people brought this up too, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. The x-rays. Do you think Hank just outright didn't turn him over? Or do you think Welcher lied? I think he never got him. They never gave him to him.
Well, Welcher think he's space ghost, coast to coast. He thinks he can just go to Mars and take a walk around the rings around Saturn. Okay, I don't think Welcher gave a damn. Now, I do think that Brennan didn't give them the X-rays, and the only reason why I think that hold on, this is my thing. I was getting ready to say, in this case, why would you not? Because you know, if you would have gave them those X-rays, Dr. Welcher would have told you how if you drink enough alcohol, your bones turn into rubber bands, and when you get in the cold, they bend like this. And then it's possible that when the 6,000 pounds hit, it bounced off with the arm because it's a rubber band. He'd have made it up. He'd have made the shit possible.
He was so there was no X-ray.
And he'd have talked about that shit and believed in it like he believed in space, honey. He would have made it up. He probably would charge him another $125,000, but he'd have made it up and made a text. He'd have had some purple paint to show you where the bend happened in the blue.
I guess the X-rays to me, and people who watched the first trial in the chat, see if you guys felt like this too. When he mentioned X-rays, I left court that day like, dang, why didn't they take X-rays? I'm like, man, that would have been very helpful if we could have seen X-rays. And I do believe they weren't going to mention the X-rays until it came out on that cross, and they said, "Oh damn, we got to go get him now," because it just didn't make sense. I'm like, dang, why didn't they do it? Why was she just assuming he didn't have any fractures or anything? I said, dang, that would have been good, baby. I'd be damned when they came back with those X-rays. I said, now I'm wondering why your witness got on the stand and said there weren't any.
Because you didn't give them to her. I also don't think Welcher asked for them. I don't think he asked for them either. I think Welcher took exactly what he was given and said, and what you want this to say now?
How can I make this work?
How can I make this work? Just like you was going to have somebody write you a note and you had to tell them what to put in it. Yeah, that's what he was doing. What do you want? And this is supposed to match what now? Okay, right arm, right tail light, drinking glass. Buy me the jeans, the shirt, and the hat. I'll make it work.
He said the actors would have done a better reenactment. Thank you for the super chat part. Now, let's talk about that. What was your thought when you saw Hank just gave up? Because that's what it felt like to me. Oh, you don't, excuse me. I'm about to talk. You don't pop shit whole trial and sit in front of hearings and say, I'm asking that we be able to rebut this and boom, boom, boom. You don't do all of that. See, you get torn up by a witness, and now all of a sudden you don't have a rebuttal.
Mm-mm. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I said.
Did you hear that Welcher was there? He said the day before, I'm going to make sure Welcher is here. What happened is what I want. What happened?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I believe Hank was walking into that break room, or he was supposed to be gone for the day, and he found out I left something in the office that they gave me. Let me go back up there to the office. Hank figured out, in a way that he wasn't supposed to, that he was an outsider. Like I said earlier, again, like we was talking about in football. Everybody know Dak got problems. But if them Cowboys win, they celebrate that man. If he lose, they should have never picked him in the first place. I told you this is all his fault. Never the team's fault. It's the quarterback's fault. This time, Hank is the quarterback. And I don't feel like Hank is the quarterback because all of a sudden they don't want to look like they're handling it. They want to be hands off. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I believe that they want another fall guy because they never expected for Karen to have this much support. So if it's an outsider that handled it, then they can kind of contain the outcry and everything that happens either way this goes. Now, if they win it, the Commonwealth won. They all gonna be out there. Lolly probably gonna be in front talking first, like he did something. Like, it's going to be a Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The state did this. Our experts did that. They're gonna stand on the steps of that courthouse and have them a good old powwow with them cameras. But if they don't win, it's gonna be because this Hank Brennan did this. Hank said that. Hank didn't put on a rebuttal. Hank's people didn't do this. And then when it comes time, and I really don't even believe it's about this case, to be honest. I believe Hank's fall is going to be for that money. When they come time and say, well, y'all, who was responsible for allowing this much of the taxpayers' dollars to go down the drain for this? Well, we hired the wrong person. It was the wrong man for the guy. We thought we could trust him. We thought he would handle it. We thought all of this. So even if Hank wins, Hank is still the fall guy for all of this to come, whether it's security they spent money on, whether it's the $400,000 aperture price tag, whether it's the whatever late nights, early mornings, whatever, all the motions, the time that courtroom was out of commission for other trials and issues, all of this is Hank's fault. So now when it's time to be reelected, it wasn't Bev, it was Hank. When it's time to elect that DA, it wasn't us. We hired a special prosecutor. It was the outsider. the same way they do in Karen. So I think that Hank walked in or overheard or saw or accidentally got copied on an email where he found out that he was just as much of an outsider as Karen. And I think at that point he understood exactly how Karen could be taken just raked over the coals. Because now he's starting to realize that he is. The only difference is when a verdict comes through, they're done raking Karen.
And he gets
your ass is still grass.
I think I keep going back to I think it was may have been Brian Steele I heard this from or someone during the YSL trial, and they talked about how the prosecution, they are supposed to be about justice. It should never be for a verdict. You should always be on the side of justice. When you look at a case and the evidence doesn't add up, you should not just pursue that trial just because you want the guilty verdict. When I look at Karen's case, this trial was, the investigation was so bad. It was so bad. At what point does the prosecution look at this and say, you know what? We messed up. Apologize to John's family and just go on about your business, because there is no evidence that this woman hit this man. There's no evidence.
Just the same way I felt during the YSL trial, I feel right now. There is no statute of limitation that you're working against for taking someone's life. Why the rush? If you don't have it right now, if you can't get it right now, I'd rather you wait 15, 20 years. Hell, you see what they did to what was his name? The Jinx. Y'all, that man was on a breathing machine and he looked like he was gonna fall over at any time. What was that man's name? Do y'all remember?
I've seen a Law and Order episode like that. That man was about 90 years old on his deathbed.
What's the man? He was known for, he took out a second wife, third wife. Durst, Robert Durst. And who was the crash out from Lewin. Yeah, Lewin didn't care nothing about that man on his last breath or borrowed time. He had him up there on that stand with the breathing machine next to him for about 4 days. He didn't give a damn.
I need to see that. People say Lewin was crashing out during that trial.
Lewin lost his shit. And let me tell you, I didn't even mean to watch it. Every day Big Aunt came home from work in between routes and was like, did that man die yet? He get ready to go any minute, and then he leave for work. Let me know if he, let me know if he fall over. Like,
not if he falls over.
Because Big Unc was absolutely convinced that this man was gonna go up out of here on that stand, and Lewin was he didn't give a damn. He said, if you take your last one, it's gonna be answering these questions because we're gonna get through this. I've been waiting all these years and all this time to get Lewin. Lewin got the win that time, but can you call it a win? Because the damn man passed like a couple seconds after he was sentenced.
Yes, I'm like, he died soon after. I thought I read.
After that man lived his whole life in the presumption of innocence, and you caught him on his last. But I would rather you do that and prove the case and get the guilty.
Me too.
Then I don't know. It's just me.
Why don't they do that, T? I just like, okay, if it's a mistrial this time, why can't we regroup? Let's go back, interview these people. All this evidence. Go find. It's a kid somewhere right now. It's a kid sitting in his mama's basement that can probably go get you some type of footage that would help you. I've seen them do it all the time on with Raymond Reddington. Go find you a kid that's sitting in the back somewhere. Have them find some information that will help you. Go regroup because you don't have it right now.
You don't have it right now. My thing is, just because you don't have it right now, the thing is, you can always get it back. Why not sit back? Why not sit back and wait? Because you know who ain't gonna wait? Them alphabet boys. Well, they're only waiting because y'all got too many hands in the pot right now. They're not joining forces with you. They're not helping you. They're not being a part of you. When they step in and do what they're going to do it, and they're going to come back. Honestly, right now, This is all still investigation, because honestly, they know what Jen McCabe said first, second, last, when they came to her house, when she lied about being a sister, when she made them calls in the 10 minutes, all the way to her sitting up on that stand and said, I helped them. That case is closed. Oh, really now? They taking notes of all this.
Don't tick me off, because I can't stand when people bring up the damn 3-letter people, because I think we have been hoodwinked. I think we have been bamboozled. These people are not, I don't think they're coming.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think they're coming the way we want them to come. We want them to step in, bust up in the courtroom, and put cuffs on Bev. Put cuffs on Bev and make Brian Albert go in there and say, we caught Bev. You got to come with us. That's what we want to see. But see, I think what they're going to do is they're going to come by way of corruption. We also got to remember, when the Alphabet Boys get into it, they want the big fish. They don't want the little guppies. They don't want the Jen and Matt McCabe's. Brian Albert ain't even big enough. Even though Higgins looked like Pumbaa, he ain't big enough to be able to get it. He ain't it. That commissioner, that Perky Burkey, that all them folks up there, they trying to go above them. So if wherever the root of this starts, that's where they're going, to the big fish. I don't think they're going to come. I don't think the Alphabet people care about Karen Reed.
They don't. I
don't believe so.
And that's good. I'm glad you put it out there. We can go on record and say that.
I don't think they don't care about the Alberts. I don't think they're big enough. The Alberts are only as big as part of Canton.
Ooh.
And we're talking about 3 of them. We're talking about the governing body of a township. Most of y'all don't even know what the hell that is. Okay? We're talking about people that's getting elected by their own cousins. Okay? It's a piece of a city. We're talking about 4 Alberts and 2-3 McCabes. Okay? Y'all saying Alberts because y'all thinking of their lineage. Okay? This lineage don't go past Chloe. It's not that they're not big enough. It looked big because it's 4, 5, 6, 7 people against Karen. Then those people work for entities like police departments, so that it gives the illusion that it's a police department against Karen. Trust me, if them police departments, if that Massachusetts State Police was against Karen the way you say, Proctor would have never been fired. He'd have never been disgraced. You would have been allowed to say his name. We would have got a cease and desist for thinking it.
Now, can I say something, speaking of Proctor?
They said his wife was probably crying today.
I was on a little live today, and in the live, someone was actually mad that that they had access to Proctor's text messages. They were like, I mean, what's up with that? I mean, have you ever heard of a cop's personal text messages being read in the case? I just thought that was weird.
So you look at
what had to happen that led us to his dang on personal phone.
So do you not think that a person that has the unmitigated gall, the pure fucking audacity to type in a group chat with his boss's boss in there that he didn't find no nudes yet, that he wouldn't have possibly sent them nudes to his friends? That's how we end up in his personal phone, because he didn't know how to act. See, most folks know how to act on the clock. Most folks know how to act at work. Most folks act like they got good sense from 9 to 5 because they get paid to act like they got some sense. You catch them at 5:01 and they're a different person. Okay? So what they found out is Proctor, if he this crazy on the clock, what is he doing in text? Where are the news? So you know what that means. You know what that means. And I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sorry. And I'm going to say allegedly. There was nudes in that phone. There was racy pictures in that phone. I think they absolutely were. And the fact that he said that in that group chat, and there was something of the sort in that phone, they wanted to make sure that was not elsewhere. How else do you do that? By getting his phone, his email, his work email. Where are these? They had to catch that.
That makes sense.
They had to catch that.
That
So
makes
I just believe that as a woman,
sense.
you send something to your man, you send something to your husband. I'm cooking, whatever you normally do, whatever y'all's thing is. And I'm sure her and John had that thing. Okay, because they might not have been able to have a good communication, but usually people with poor communication have an amazing sex.
I think I didn't think about it that way. That maybe that's something something prompted. I want to know what prompted them to say we need to look in that phone. And that
always thought that.
Here's the thing. I can't see Yuri or Tully turning them in. What happened? Something happened. Something was said to somebody, got back, and they said, bring that phone up here. You know, like how I do phone check with LJ Miraz 19 now. Babe, I used to do phone check, just walk in the room and say, let me see your phone.
Let me see your phone.
Let me see your phone. Not asking, let me see your phone. Something happened, and I don't know. Maybe it's out there, right? Something happened, and they did that.
I believe that. I've always believed that, because I would think that when I'm doing my job, when I'm analyzing, there's nothing about the way I analyze that would make you need anything from my personal life. But if I somehow mix my personal with my analyzing, I start analyzing like it's personal, or if I start acting personal when I'm analyzing, then that blends the two, that blurs the line. So I was always of the mind that I just figured I'm grown, she grown, we grown, and she get drunk too. And you know, her I won't say her confidence, but her weed whacker came out. Okay, when she had been drinking, because that's after she had been drinking is the only time she got spicy with Higgins. That's the only time she kind of was more forward with him. That's the only time she was kind of like taking charge with him. You gonna see me or not? Am I coming over? You coming over? Like, it was only after she drank. So other than that, it was weed whacker and talking about how to make a drink. Like, he was the only one falling in love. When she was not drunk, he was, what are we doing? Are we together or are we not? Are you moving in or are you not? You're selling your house or not? So you taking care of these kids or no? Like, he needed to know. For her, she didn't need it. So I really feel like there was something. I don't feel like it was super racy. I don't feel like it could have just been some lingerie or something, but I do feel like
it was something.
Investigation of Proctor, there was something completely irrelevant to this case, but maybe in her Google photos, maybe in her memories, maybe in something that she sent to John that has nothing at all.
This for me, Jay. Oh my God. Y'all just made me realize I was out last night and I missed Court of Opinion.
I didn't do it last night. Okay.
I was at dinner last night and I remember it went off. But
y'all, they said, what has been going on for the last few weeks? Well, I'm glad you've been looking, Jamie. But I'm going to tell you, it has been an absolute bear to do Court of Opinion after 8 hours of streaming, fit in physical therapy, fit in alternating days with Big fit in. It's just been a lot. So we are currently coming up with a schedule. We didn't do it yesterday because two things happened. One, we said we were going to rewatch Lori Daybell, but her ass had been sentenced. I mean, not sentenced, but already been found guilty already. So there goes that. We didn't even get to watch that. But yesterday there was an outage with StreamYard and I couldn't even get back in or back on. So I couldn't even do anything.
I'm just happy to know that life been lifing for you too, because
it's been life thing, but I'm not mad about it because here it goes. We have so many major trials coming up, and I'm not going to get my Mariah the Scientist on and be spread thin. So,
that's great.
This is what we're going to do, because my best friend was like, you need to do this. So what we're going to do is I am going to pledge to do some sort of wind down through every major trial. Mm-hmm. We're not having a major trial. Our court will be Court of Opinion. Now, I'll still be watching the ones that aren't so national every single day. We'll still keep watching trials. But when it comes to Mama Adelson, when it comes to Koberger, when it comes to YNW Melly, when it comes to Casey Goodson Jr., when it comes to Nightmare NICU, Nanny, all the cases we got straight to February of 2026, not nanny, nurse. All of those will be everywhere. Is WTF coming back? Okay, so Naziah, yes, you know he got a status conference coming up next week too. As far as WTF, so WTF, we were given the privilege. We were given the privilege of being a part of WTF, but that's actually Kayla's baby. So WTF is on Kayla's. Speaking of, you want to say hey?
Hey, Q.
Hey.
You see this head?
You stop.
I'm sorry.
Sharp ass nails.
You know, we're always talking stuff. You see all this head?
Hey, Domino's got this Parmesan pizza with the crust in it. You got to get chicken, bacon, and the garlic Parmesan sauce. Don't get the regular marinara sauce. This joint fine.
Oh, because it'll hit me for copyright.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
I know that's right.
He said, I gotta make the noise too. Big Uncle catch it. They done been swimming all day for about the 4th time this week.
I haven't had Domino's in so long. I don't even know if Domino's. I don't even know if I don't even know if it's
what he's trying to give out is that he gets the garlic Parmesan, or no, it's Alfredo sauce, and then he gets the toppings as chicken, bacon, and something else. Chicken, bacon, cheese, or something, but it comes out like an Alfredo type thing. Listen, he said no free promo. Listen, he gonna come back again. So I think that was always my thing. I always thought that there was something else that they were never going to admit was possibly a liability unless it became a liability. Like, I ain't gonna tell y'all that she had some stuff in her phone because then y'all gonna blame me for some stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think that there was something, and personally, I think it was between her and John. It might have been a little hip action. It might have been a little behind her or something like that, or in a towel, something. But it was something they wanted to make sure that he did not put out there. And maybe not in the group chat.
Well,
maybe
they're saying some with Tasha's saying that he was using that his work phone for personal.
Oh, there you go. That's what I said. He had to blur the line somewhere.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. And you know what was probably on there? That's probably why that group chat said user element of PABC.
Yep, that's
he was probably trying not to miss his group chat.
Why would he do
it? Had it on the work phone. Had it on the work phone.
Why would you do something so crazy?
That's like Lori Daybell's brother buying that burner phone and then logging into his Google account and turning on the GPS.
Thank you, Jenny. I did get it. Thank you. I just don't know. But just to piggyback off of Miss J, y'all know I have moved in the last 2 weeks now. I had to deal with my smoke detector, get my Wi-Fi put in, just craziness. Okay. Did you listen to YouTube Man and a Woman? No, did you tell me to listen to that song? Speaking of YouTube, when Apple randomly put that album on our phones, I think it was YouTube. But so thank you guys for being patient with me. And when she was talking, life just been so crazy. I have not updated my TikTok since like last week. Normally I try to get at least 7 to 10 videos out a day, and I definitely haven't been doing that. So thank you guys for being patient with me. But I told everybody we would. If someone told me about the Adelson case too, we're definitely gonna watch the Idaho 4 case. We got Melly.
I would love for you to watch the Danny Adelson.
They were telling me about it today. I said I think that's one of the cases Miss J was telling me about. Mama Adelson.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna watch that case and wonder why Mama Adelson they get her ass up in the middle of opening statement and take her ass to catch that Vietnam flight. I don't know why she waited.
Yes, I said so. People were talking about this. So we typically on my page, we like to talk. We kind of vote on what's going to be the next case, but we do. I know Idaho 4. They've already said they want to watch that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot. I'm with Ms. J. Like, I think prior to me becoming like a content creator, and right now it's full time for me. This is really all I do. Prior to me becoming a content creator, I used to think this was easy. I used to be like, she ain't doing them but uploading pictures all day, or they making content creation is work. And I think that if you are a full-time and you're a smaller creator like myself, you are working a lot more than you would on a job. Like you would be thank you for the super chat, Aaron. Like you are working a job. Like we are streaming, and when I brought in streaming, it became harder because this is a job. You're on the stream. I'm on the streams from 8:45, 9 o'clock a.m. to about 4:30 in the afternoon, right? You get off, you're trying to rush and do TikToks. If I get those done, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I like to go when I get off stream, I go and sit in the bed or something or lay down and just sit here. I don't talk. I was just telling somebody that the job that I might take is customer service. And I said, man, I don't know how I feel about talking for 8 hours and then talk as my other job. That just won't work for me, because when you get off of these lives, baby, I'm just sitting in my bed. I don't want to hear anything. I'm scrolling X. I'm trying to catch up on stuff because 8 hours of your day is gone because you're on a stream. So it's not easy, guys. It is not easy. So we appreciate y'all for being here because, baby, we are working. You are working a lot.
It still boggles my mind that people refer to me as a content creator, because I be telling people like it was an accident.
I tell people that all the time, T.
Like I really was watching the trial, was really upset about it, and I was really needed somebody to vent to because my best friend kept kicking me off the phone. And it just went somewhere. So I'm gonna tell you, friend, we had a poll going. Mm-hmm. Said, do you believe? Oh, does Brennan believe that there was a collision?
He does.
That was the poll.
What were the results?
Let me move this out the way. It's all in the way. Hold on. So the results were 76% believe he don't believe it was a collision.
I could tell.
24% said he does. Yeah. I think that was evident. I think, I say it again. Yes, I am still analyzing every day, Monday through Friday. You could tell with Hank, but I also believe that Hank in that aspect was the best person, because I guess the cardinal rule is just don't lie to your lawyer. They don't care if you did it or not. Just don't lie. Don't let them get caught off guard. So a defense attorney by nature don't care if there was a collision. They just care that the facts are there and we put them out. They just paint the picture. They just give you all the puzzle pieces and let you put the rest together. There is no person that was a prosecutor by heart that's going to be able to handle something like this without knowing for a fact. Seeing something, the end of a Ring video with just a loud sound in the background. Something's got to be able to tell their heart that there was a collision. A defense attorney by heart don't need that. A defense attorney needs the evidence. They need to see what's there and, most importantly, what's not there. So I think that was strategic to get Hank, because they can't tell Hank if there was a collision or not. Hank just needs to be able to take the evidence and make it so there was one. And I think that he was okay with that until he started looking like.
Let me tell you.
I think he was still okay with it until he started feeling crazy. And then when he was feeling crazy, I think it was confirmed the other day Because the thing is, Hank's contract is his contract. He's paid regardless. Regardless of the outcome, he's going to get his direct deposit. So I don't think that the way he handles it, as long as he handles it in a way that does not affect his bar card, I think that, yeah, there was no reason to put a rebuttal on. And honestly, I don't think there's going to be any dereliction of duty. I don't think he was avoiding his duties by not putting on a rebuttal, because truthfully, Welcher was going to be limited to not saying anything new. Yeah. The only way Welcher would have been able to combat that was to go do a new test. All Welcher had was blue paint and outfit.
Jasmine, tag me in it. Or send it to my inbox so I can see it. Don't tag me because it'll get lost. Don't tag me, it'll get lost. I think, T, to answer your question, I think when Hank said, and he was looking down, he was like, we don't really know where the collision happened. And he had that little pen, and we don't know when it happened. I said, oh, he doesn't believe this shit.
He don't believe it. And he knew that there, but I don't, how can I say it? Hank doesn't believe it. But I think Hank can look in the eyes of them jurors and he can tell you which ones he also don't believe.
Probably.
And I think he can tell because it's the same look he got in his eye. And them jurors probably looking at him like, you don't believe that shit. But his job is his job. I don't think he's as far gone as Hilton. I think Hilton really believed her performance. Okay.
Do?
I do. I know Hilton believed it with her whole heart. There's nothing on this earth that will tell me that she didn't believe in that case like Love believed in the curls that were non-existent and them chestnuts roasting over an open fire, them blazers.
Wait.
They put a curl in her head and she still.
Did you see her in the cash out case?
I watched the opening statement.
Did you watch it? Did you read the indictment?
I did.
Okay. I did. When you read the indictment, was it not vague to you?
It was so vague, and that's why when somebody came to me and said, "Are you going to cover it?" and I was like, "Yeah, no." And I was like, because I read the indictment, I'm getting triggered because I don't understand who did what when.
I actually
wanted. I was also in a situation where, again, no sooner than they talk about how horrible, how costly, how time-consuming the last Rico was, you literally have another one the next day, like literally. And so then I was like, you know what? Let me lean not unto my own understanding. Okay. Let me get myself and my probably have a bias against Fulton County ass eyes off of this indictment and let me listen to it. Let me hear it. Let it not be me with my feeling some type of way ass. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I went and I watched the opening statements. And all I can say with the opening statements is somebody's lying.
Somebody's lying. And which side?
Lying.
That's during the prosecutions. Did you get the video of Chloe? Hold on, y'all. Let me read this real quick. T, what you say?
Chloe.
IG. If y'all message me on Instagram, I will tell you. I haven't really checked my Instagram probably in like 2 days. So I'll respond. So T, I'll go look at it tonight. When I was listening to the prosecution, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, oh, what?
I was going to jail. And your mama too.
Jail.
Not Enterprise is you, your cousin, and your mama. Now that's my and the mama too.
The mama? I said, oh, this is bad. And then I listened to the defense. Now I'm gonna tell you, I love Mr. Matthews, but Mr. Matthews' opening, I didn't particularly like it, and I don't know what it was. I didn't love it.
I'm gonna tell you what it was.
What was it?
He too old.
No.
You don't want to say it. Okay. No. I won't say it like that. But listen to me. Listen to me.
Oh, okay.
He sound like he about to say they was on that hippity, singing that hippity hop on the tickety talk. That's how he did his opening. He was doing songs with Waka Flocka. He said, Who did he name off? He said,
Well, I think he said Wale one point.
Wale,
He said Ty Dolla. He said
Ty Dolla. That's what it was. Fine. Fine. Add the rest of it. Oh, he was talking about music. He said these are tracks, and then he said tracks or songs. Don't nobody need that clarification, but you, sir. You're too old to be handling the cash out. Okay, you
cash out is
up there and say. You can't get up there and say she twerking without you having to have practiced that. That's what it was. Daddy Matthews was very.
He was trying to give a Brian Steele opening for Thug, and you can't do that because Cash Out is no longer an artist like that.
That was the other thing, because I know people feel some type of way when I said, well, what other song you got?
And it's, first of all, he's not an active artist, man. You know what that means to me? I'm sorry. It would make sense. He was finding something else to do so he can make money.
Well, this is my thing. I will say this. You had to pick the lesser of two evils, because some of the things that Daddy Matthews stated would have never been able to be said by any of those other attorneys because of their age. It would have had to have been said by someone old or a woman. Because you cannot say she got up here and changed her story. Oh, she did this, she said that. You know what? He didn't get up there and straight up accuse this possible survivor of being a liar, but he did it in old folks' terms. We say, we're going to talk about it. I ain't being harsh, but I'm going to ask some questions. And I'm gonna get some answers. Now, if somebody else young would have came up there and said that heifer a lie, she told 32 different stories while she was up there walking, it came out so insensitive, it wouldn't have been able to happen. And they don't have a female prosecutor to get up there and say those things. So he had to go old, or he'd have effed that up.
Well, the cousin's lawyer kind of went up there and said that I liked his clothes and kept. I mean, his attention.
Well, the cousin had a different angle, because Cash Out
is the leader.
His ex-woman is also testifying. She a co-defendant. Okay,
mm-hmm.
It's a little different when you say, if a woman says, "I said no," or "I didn't want it," and somebody said, "But did you really?" That comes off like whoa, right? But then when somebody says she's lost her kids, she has a substance problem, she was endangering her kids, she gave 30 different stories, she was there for the rugs, she was there for the access, she was there for the entertainment, she left by herself for 3 hours, passed the dang on police station umpteen times, back down to the gas station to be able to beg for money. She went to this, that, and the other. The hotel she claimed she was supposed to go to do what she was doing was next to a different police station. Then you like, well, now if you was next to the police station and you went on your own, ma'am, you was by yourself with a cell phone. Nobody's behind you. Nobody's hounding you. Nobody's making you do. Nobody's telling you what direction to go in. You're off by yourself. Then at that point, unfortunately, her choices have kind of already caused doubt before that man opened his mouth. I don't think she's going to be a good witness for anybody ever unless her life is now straight and she's sober and she can get up there and say, hey, I made some crazy decisions. I have made some crazy decisions. I have played Russian roulette with my life and substances. But one decision I didn't make was that motherfucker on me. Now, if she can get up there and have changed her life and say some mess like that, that's one thing. But if she's still back and forth, or on and off, or for the reasons that she lost her children, and that's going to be a tough witness for anybody. But the only thing I can say to that is that still doesn't mean she doesn't have the right to say no. And that still doesn't mean that, like, the prosecution don't get to pick their victims.
Yeah.
Right. They don't get to pick who their witnesses are going to be. So it's really a tough situation. I just think that particular lawyer in that instance was able to get off with what he said, because that woman did not travel to another state for cash out. She did not come and he did not lure her away from her kids. They did not lure her into a lifestyle. They did not introduce her to substances. She was already way gone.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't that he can say that. But had Daddy Matthew said that, he had to stick with the we gonna talk about it.
I can't wait to really
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what evidence they have in this trial, because we did notice that indictment looks real different from the Wisdale indictment. When we looked at his Instagram page, we were like, dang, you know, and it doesn't mean they're not going to use
Instagram. Say go look, because he
baby, that Instagram looks like they selling a little. Or are they promoting an OnlyFans page, which is not illegal?
I was about to say, at this point, you have to, there's so many ways. I think that the best thing they can do for Instagram and that evidence is to never bring you know who near it. She should never testify. And if you want anybody to take your evidence,
there, baby, she'll be there. She'll be there. I can see her now. He uploaded this because that's what it looks like. And for me, if you are this rapper that Mr. Matthews was claiming you are, why is this on your page like that?
Baby, I felt so bad and I felt so old because I'm not gonna lie, it was late. I was laying across the bed and Big Unc was playing his Call of Duty. So I'm like, let me go ahead and watch this real quick. And I said, he had 3 albums in 2015. How was this? Oh, yeah, to 2020. I remember she twerking.
Mm-hmm. We probably was done by then, and I'm sure he was still doing music, but unfortunately, the sad thing about so many of these rappers who have these singles that go on, they have a good run. Sometimes it's poor money management. Just a lot of life could just happen, and then now they're back in their hood and they're doing different things.
Thank you, White Pete.
I don't know if I don't know if that is the case in this trial, but I will say I'm very anxious to see. Nani, come on back in here. I'm very anxious to see the evidence. Yes, please. But I'm very anxious to see the evidence and what's going to happen in this trial, because it could be a Wisdale all over again. They're making up stuff and nothing's going to stick. Nothing's going to match, because I noticed their indictment is not specific. There's like, I think Aaron read, and there was probably one instance where we had a little more. It's very vague.
Well, this is my thing. And I had the same problem in YSL. If they did something in 2013, 2014, 2015, why are we just now doing anything about it? Why are we just now charging them with anything?
It's funny, T. She says that Rico, she said, what did she say? I'm going to keep using Rico because it's effective.
It's an effective tool.
It's the issue with Funny that I take a problem. This is one of my issues with Rico. They can go back so far, and Funny is using it to put these out. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be in jail. Please do not think that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Funny is using this. She's using Rico to go back to charge. She's trying to, she's getting around double jeopardy, right? Because she's
that's it right there.
In the jail. They've already been to jail for, they've already done time for. And then she's also using it for maybe the cops couldn't get them back then, but now she feels like, well, if I wrap it up in this Rico, this is how I'm going to have to do that. And
I don't have to prove it. It don't have to be a crime. I can get overt acts in, and they don't have to be crimes. They just have to be able to show a pattern a couple of times in years. I just think that when it comes to Ricos, I am a bit of a constitutionalist. It's not in the Constitution, but double jeopardy is.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hate it. Now, if I did it in 2013, you never found out about it, but you find a pattern of activity that has been going on since 2013 unchecked, then by all means, do what you got to do. Because otherwise, at that point, somebody who is terrorizing and traumatizing women has been unchecked since 2013, and that simple battery or that assault may otherwise no longer be able to be indicted. However, if you are using Rico to send someone who got caught, went to jail, did 5 years on the guilty plea, got out, and 2 years later, you say about that 5 years, now I want you to do 20 for it, for the tax on it, because now I'm saying you did it as part of a gang. Now that's where I have the problem. That's where I feel like it's double jeopardy, and the double jeopardy is coming with a 75% increase. Like, there is no way that somebody has gone through the process, accepted guilt, paid their debt to society, came out, and has otherwise been following the rules. And you say, oh, well, but remember when you did that? And now I don't even have to prove that you did it because you accepted a guilty plea on it. So now you're automatically guilty again. That's where I'm like, I don't think you should be able to do that. Now, it seems like, I'm just saying it seems like, if you are otherwise creating a pattern of racketeering activity your damn self, you would quit trying to teach people over the World Wide Web what racketeering activity is, what it looks like, and how the pattern looks. Because now not only are we recognizing the pattern in other people's shit, we see you, Heifer.
Mm-hmm.
We see you.
And
ooh, that look like an enterprise right there.
Don't forget Dexter Q Bonds. We see him. We see
love. What she say? They're keeping them apprised of what's going on in case they go to war. You keep going to war with Merchant.
Sugar, don't say Trump coming for her, because I thought he would. We're approaching the summertime. He done let Funny go on.
We waiting on Trump like we waiting on the FBI to kick in the door and get bail.
Funny done went to vacation 3-4 different times. Okay, she still got her knowledge braids right now.
The government vehicles to get tacos. Okay, at this point,
he came in
Taco Tuesday with the same vacation braids that she wore 2 cruises ago.
He has not.
If Fonnie ain't scared to put the synthetic boho parts in there and it get all napped up, I'm telling you, she's not scared of nothing.
Honey, around here, Fonnie is not changing anything. She still wearing her dresses backwards.
And what she say? They should have elected another DA. Let me tell you something. I have never in my life seen somebody walk off like it was a period, like it was the end of the sentence, and it looked more like a comma. I didn't know what that walk off was doing. I didn't know if she was going to turn around or not. I swear, Fonnie walked like Archie Bunker.
Sugar said he has the rest of the term. Sugar, listen, if he doesn't do anything, get Funny up out of here, please. Don't put that one who was pandering to y'all last year. Don't put her in.
I was about to say he didn't care nothing about a Young Thug or anybody else's Rico. The only thing he cared about was his Rico. And the second they told him he could not be touched, or he knew he couldn't be touched because he was president, he don't care. Now, the day he walk out of there, if she tried to re-indict him on that Rico, he gonna care again. He gonna be looking for Cash Out. He gonna be looking for Cash Out Mama. He gonna be looking for Thug, Mariah. He gonna be looking for everybody to help him through this. But until then, he don't give a damn. He didn't give a damn. He only said Young Thug's name because they were in the same predicament and had a common enemy. He didn't make sure that man had a morsel of food. He didn't make sure that man was in any type of condition. He didn't give a shit about Rice Street. He didn't give a shit about nothing that was going on in there.
Sugar, please do not get it twisted, baby. Melanie wants it, okay? Melanie wants Trump.
I just can't get excited for it. I know you don't care.
I don't know.
I would love for him to come in there with a fresh toupee and say, "You're fired." Remember when he used to be on there?
Oh my life! I said, picture.
I would love it.
I said, picture it. Funny sitting in her living room, half her braids out. So we got this side boho in, this side hair sticking out. Right? You can still see where it was parted. Right? Because she is taking her hair down. Knock, knock, knock. Open the door. Miss Willis, we have a warrant for your arrest. Picture it. Hands behind her back. Walk out. I know she has to have a nice home.
Now they allegedly saying that the sneaky link then bought a new house, and that's where she lives.
I know she had a nice home. Picture it, hands behind her
Okay,
back.
you bought a new one, honey.
Gray sweatpants and a blue shirt with holes in it because it's her favorite tea. And they walking her to that car. It won't happen though. But I'm just saying, picture it. It was
He
funny.
only don't care about it when it affects him. Right now, it don't affect him. He too busy having a baby mama, baby daddy spat with Elon. Okay, he said he is now. Anybody make a Tesla and you not.
Wait, who has apologized? He said he was wrong. I said, oh, they must told him a thing or two. I told Elon, I said, dang, not you back down so soon. You didn't even give me 2 weeks of laughter. He was done.
They probably threatened to charge him with treason or something.
He got that phone call, baby. He got that phone call and he said,
because you know when they put them when they give them type of charges, those type of folks, you know, they go where they had where they got Hoover over there in Colorado, up here in Colorado. You know, the Supermax.
They got the World Cup here. She gonna walk down Cleveland. Have fun, friend.
Now that's a scary situation. We talked about that too. Because I know before I talked about, and don't get on me, y'all, because we did not finish the book, but we talked about the Olympics in Atlanta in 1996 and all of the things that spawned, Senate Bill 440, all of the things that turned into trying to make Atlanta appear world ready for the 1996 Olympics. Now, here it is, 2026. They're going to be preparing to host the World Cup. And now they're preparing to make 0% homelessness in Atlanta in preparation. Isn't that the same thing they said? And then I was like, back in 1996, they made it illegal to sleep on the street. So all homeless people were being put in jail, and all eyesores within eyesight of where the Olympics would be held were literally, all those projects were torn down. Those people were displaced. They were put other places. They were forced out of their homes. It was a mess. Yes, Lord, the condemnation of little B. That is exactly what but now here it is. What, 30 years to the date? 30 years to the date. And now we are, I've been waiting to catch your name too. There she goes. 30 years to the date. And we are in a situation where is history about to repeat itself? Like, what do you do with all the homeless people in Atlanta?
And they're aggressive. I'm telling you, I told y'all I had to go to the bus station, and the bus station is near Magic City, and it's not far from the area where Shannon ran that red light. Child, I ran the red light. I said, I know why he's not stopping at the red lights. That lady walked up on my car and knocked on the door. I looked, baby, hit the gas. I'm not stopping.
Oh no.
I get why they not stopping at them red lights down there.
I didn't realize how aggressive the homeless population could be until I moved here to Arizona. Because in Columbus, there is a homeless population. That it is way larger than people would like to admit. But I would like to think that I didn't understand homelessness until I got to Arizona. And that's because apparently homeless people will, before they get a bus ticket to go home, they'll get a bus ticket to Arizona because there are no elements. Heat, maybe, but there's going to be places to cool off. There's going to be places for water, but they don't have to deal with snow. They don't have to deal with cold. They don't have to, so they can pretty much
be okay.
They can be okay in Arizona.
I get that.
And I did not realize that people would actually go find a way to be more comfortable in that situation rather than go home until I got to Arizona and actually saw it with my own eyes. And it was just like, when I think of somebody saying, I'm just going to cure homelessness right now, I look around and say, how? Because so many of these people are veterans. So many of these people are minors. So many of these people have substance issues. So many of these people have mental issues. Like, how do you get somebody, if they had the mental capacity to sustain themselves, you don't think they would? it. Like if you have an addiction and somebody puts you somewhere and say, hey, here's this nice new tiny house. You think they ain't gonna sell that stove and all the copper in them walls? And to get what they have to be in a certain mindset, and you can't just heal the mind at all. That has to be a constant effort because people seem to not understand that healed is not real. Healing is a constant journey. Like you are not healed. It's not a destination. Like, so if somebody is not on that journey with you to help support them,
yep.
What do you think you're gonna do? You can stick them in a house every 30 days. That if they just don't have the absolute stability mentally, and that's they might not have good money management skills, they might not have good accountability skills, they might not be good workers, they might not be dependable, they might have a terrible work ethic. There is a multitude of things that could just be wrong that would prohibit them from sustaining themselves. How do you fix that?
I understand that.
How do you just say, oh, y'all get over here, we are no longer homeless?
And how they gonna do that in Atlanta? When they tell you they got huts under the overpass, just everything. I'm interested to see how that's gonna happen, especially the cost of living here.
I honestly, I know they don't need nothing else bad to happen, but I am actually interested in how this will go, since a lot of folks actually have cell phones. And now that's the difference. Like a lot of the things that we watch on trials or we watch unfold or we watch become viral, there's nothing, as Pop would say, there's nothing new under the sun. Right. None of this is new. It's just being recorded now. So now China has no homeless people. I wish there was a way to sustain everybody.
I love
to get on my soapbox. I just wish there was a way to sustain everybody, because I told y'all yesterday, StreamYard having that outage yesterday just put me in a situation where I was actually able to talk on the phone. And I had a whole FaceTime conversation, and we went through like folks sustaining themselves and where they are mentally, and we kind of, I know I'm pivoting off of topic, but we kind of pivoted into what happened to the village. And we were talking about how when we were younger, I could walk down the street, I can name about 6 or 7 people that would tell my mama every single thing I did before she got home from work. My mama didn't have to worry about no Ring camera. But people were like, oh, I'm glad they didn't have Ring cameras when I was growing up. My mama ain't need one. Everybody told what you was doing.
There was an old man across the street from me that sat on his porch all day. There's a woman directly across the street. And then, like, still on the same street, but 3 houses down. Why is my mama calling from work? Because he sees something on his porch. Like,
there you go. They didn't need them.
Houses down. Come on.
But I said, we've been attacking everybody for not allowing the village to be a village. But I said, well, wait a minute. This is Miss J. This is not nobody else's opinion. Yesterday, I said, what if the village dismantled itself? Like, what if it's not the generation under us that just ain't falling in line? Because think about it. If I watched my mama go to my grandmama about her son, and she said, don't be talking about my son, not my son, don't be da-da-da-da, and she allowed my daddy to become everything that he is, and then when I tell my grandmama about her son, she don't want to hear that neither. Why would my kid go to the village when they can't trust it, when they protect the ones that they're not supposed to? Did it dismantle itself and now they just don't trust it? And so we got into this whole conversation about it, and I was just like, you know what? I wonder if, you got to think about it, how many of them folks is out there that's either running from the village or they out there because the village told them, you fine, you did okay. Don't let nobody tell you different. God got you. God can only judge you. And they just out there in the wilderness, walking around in circles and don't think nothing wrong with it because somebody gonna cook them a hot meal. Somebody daughter gonna take them in. They mama gonna make sure they okay. Somebody gonna take care of their kids and dare them to say something about their daddy. That you got to think about it. It might not just be that person. That person might have a whole support system behind them that absolutely tells them that everybody else is wrong. How does that person not be homeless?
How does it work?
Because all of us know some homosexuals. They fall in love soon as they can get a key. They gonna get a key. They in love, baby. They cooking dinner, opening doors, and driving your car to work, baby.
My nephew
off at work.
I have to call him later. He just said that. He said some of the millionaires they always mess with my nephew. He said some of them getting dropped off at work in their car. I said, "Oh, we're gonna have to have you come to the line because you're gonna have to talk about that."
He ain't told no lie. He ain't told no lie because
I do think that
tell you something. We will unsister. We will unsister. I think we are some of the only people who will unsister, uncousin, unfriend a person because we don't like what they said. But that man can come back 142 times every time the gas tank is on E. And we just gonna put some more gas in the I just. Mr. J must have been talking to paper plate. Is that your nephew?
That's my nephew. Don't be talking about my nephew. Don't play with my nephew, Brianna.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna bring it back in. Predictions. How long do we think they'll deliberate? Day 1 is down. So day 1 plus what?
I say Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I say Wednesday. Last time I think it was about 4 days, about the same. I say Wednesday.
Okay, we got Wednesday. Somebody said 2. I see a Tuesday. How long? Tuesday, Wednesday. I was thinking about Tuesday, Wednesday myself.
Yeah.
I think Tuesday morning. I hope so. Don't say Monday. Who said Monday? Don't say Monday. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put a video up too. I will not be streaming on Monday. I'll jump in with the millionaires.
Okay.
No, I have a couple of things to do. I have a dentist appointment and stuff like that, and I have a pretty big meeting. I'm running another training again. I got another class coming in, so I'm going to do that in the morning, and then I got to go make sure these teeth is
Yeah, got you.
So now I do in y'all's face. Y'all be to saying something about my teeth or something because I be watching other folks plaque and stuff. That ain't cool.
Babe, I tell people all the time, make sure you're flossing. Okay.
I just feel like there's no one in the world
of your teeth, of like brushing your teeth every morning. Get the floss.
I mean, that ain't all. You got to do a little bit more, but there's nothing I think is more crazy than to walk around with a designer bag.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do
it. Nails, toes, and you didn't take care of your in a cavity. Why are you walking around with a cavity and a Louis? I'm trying to figure out where the priorities are, okay? And I can't be that person, okay? So I got to go and handle my business as an analyst, and then I got to go to the dentist.
Got it.
So I will be doing that on Monday, but I'm going to be, if I got to be in that dentist chair, listen, because if they come back with a question, I'm going to be on TikTok, and I'm going to be watching mail because we got to do a verdict watch. But I'm hoping it's Tuesday, but I felt like the only way they would come back Monday is if they sat down, and the first logical question is, do you think, raise your hand if you think there was a collision. Because if there's no collision, we're going no further. They could have came right back in a couple of hours. The 4-person was already picked. I don't like that. I'm gonna tell you that now. I don't like that. I don't like that she picks.
I think that she wouldn't be transparent about it because why does she get to do that? Why can't they just let them decide?
Miss J, please send an advice to Jen McCabe. What's wrong? Oh, her going.
Bye.
Listen, so I don't like it. And even if she does get the pick, I think this will be the one time for her to go against it, just for the appearance of any impropriety, as they say. I wouldn't want her pick because I would feel like she had already picked, I don't know how long ago. I just don't trust her no matter where it go. Even if she just picked the first person she saw, or if she said whoever sit down in seat number 1 is going to be the 4th person. Even if she said that from the beginning, I don't care if she said it to 3 people. I don't trust it. But I feel like if they sat down and said, who believes there was, if does anybody believe there was a collision? If they do, then they're going to have to go through the evidence one by one. And I feel like that's going to take them a couple of days and get a good start, and then all day on Monday. And I think probably by Tuesday morning, they're going to be honing in on the things that Monday didn't dwindle down. Monday might be, for the first part or most part, might be all of the evidence. And then they're going to start honing in on, okay, this is the part of the evidence that you missed that answers that question. And by Tuesday, they might be able to go ahead and take a vote. But if they
didn't go like that, T. Like, I really want juror 2 to say, well, I think she's guilty because this happened, and juror 3 to say, well, let's take a look at the evidence. Like, I really want them to really go through the evidence.
Yeah, I think that they should start at collision. If anybody believes there's a collision, if nobody believes there's a collision, there's no reason to go any further. But if anybody believes there's a collision, then we need to go right to what makes you think there is a collision, and they need to use the evidence to rebut or refute that. Other than that, I think if they don't have anything by Wednesday by lunch, I'm a little scared.
Yeah, hung jury.
I would say even if they went through all the evidence on Monday, and then they pinpointed certain evidence on Tuesday, by Wednesday, before Wednesday morning, we should have something. If we don't have something by Wednesday morning, Wednesday at lunch, then I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm more than a little nervous. And then I'm going to have attitude. Then I'm going to have an attitude, because the hell was you listening to? Where was your antennas? I know you heard this man say ain't a bone broke. Matter of fact, at that point, that's why I can't be on nobody's jury. I know I'll never make jury duty. Because by Tuesday, if you still believe there was a collision, somebody bring me a Lexus. Stand your ass right there. I'm going to back up. Like, we going to figure this out. Because at this point, I'm going to make you a believer. Because you got to make me understand where your malfunction is. And at this point, I think the only way I'm going to do it is if I go, what Dr. Welcher say, 2 miles per hour, he wasn't going no further. Wipe some blood across the back of this damn Lexus. I'm going to back up at about 5 miles. And you don't you damn move. Don't you move. And then we're going to go get your ass an x-ray. And then we're going to see what we see.
Oh, Lex said Monday, please. It shouldn't take much more than that. I hope so.
I say Monday if nobody believes there was a collision. I say Monday if nobody believes there was a collision and they got to talk about it today. They deserve a few wind down days and make them wait a little bit. Not fair to Karen, but I feel like they got all their scruples together. Everybody can say what they need to say. But if nobody believes that there was a collision, or there's just somebody that says, hey, this is the only thing that I'm hanging on to, maybe 1 or 2 people saying, this is just where I'm stuck, then maybe they can work that out by Monday. But if there's a diehard 1 or 2 that believe absolutely she hit him, she ran him over, when it's the aperture versus arca thing for them, then that's going to take some battling. If it go past Wednesday, I feel like we're going to have an issue. But if it's just somebody that's just like, this is one thing that I'm hung up on, and they can talk about it, I think late Monday could be a possibility.
Well, don't see. John's brother stated they'll retry the case until they get, I heard this too, Miss Fu. And I think, can someone step in? Like, man, this... Kimberly, here's my issue with the DUI. How can you charge her for something you do not know for sure, for certain? They proved 8 to 9 hours later she was 2 to 3 times the limit. None of you have no idea what it was like.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this, and I probably shouldn't say this, and I'm gonna say this is allegedly, this is a joke, and I don't know this to be true. But let me tell you something. I know a true alcohol connoisseur who purposely would drink themselves into oblivion and then take the little mustard packets you get from like a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
If the cops pulled her over, she would put a dab of that on her tongue, on the tip of her tongue, and whatever is in mustard, if you blow, allegedly throws off the breathalyzer.
Crazy.
So my thing is, if that
nope, cure,
that connoisseur can mess up a test, I definitely am not trying to guess how much alcohol was in a sip on a video. I'm not going to be comfortable with it.
But y'all know she got to the house safely. We saw her on video, and she didn't look like she was swerving or anything to me. So I am of the mind. That lady talked to her for 50 minutes before they left. I am of the mind Karen was not drunk yet.
Listen, I'm going to say that everybody's tolerance is different. And the way in my younger days I could face a fifth of Hennessy and never would go anywhere unless I could strut back to my car in my stilettos.
Which one is the fifth?
We don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's the big one.
Oh, and here I am thinking, oh, that must be that little smaller one.
It was ridiculous, honey. I'm telling you, there was a time that I would not crack the seal on one unless I had an unopened other one. Everybody knew if you wanted to drink with me, you take this 3510 and go down there to the state store. Because if I open this one, it better be one for me to open later. I did not share. You get your own. I did not share, and I do not drink chasers, and I don't want no ice. Sorry, friend. And yes, I'm on 28.
With you.
Listen, I'm on 28s with Thug Motivation 101 playing. It was a time to be alive.
Jesus. This live just made me say, when we get off this live, I'm going to go Google all the measurements for these different drinks, okay? Because not me thinking the fifth was the little one. Okay. I'm gonna get it together.
Saying my type of girl. I'm just saying. So yes, I would be in my stilettos, but it was just a time. Okay, so there was a time that I could do that. Now, 2 shots, and by the third one, I'm I can't do it.
Girl, your chest. Listen.
I guess I would say I was different in that sort because I couldn't drink vodka. The way people would say dark liquor would make them act a certain way. Vodka does that for me. So Grey Goose would get me loose. Okay. That's when I would hear, what? She said that? Like it get me out there. I can't do it. So I was good. I never had a problem. I was always chill. I was having me a good time. I loved to dance and I was keeping my heels on. I just never had I do not have a law degree. I am in tech. I have no legal bone in my body, but thank you. Can you imagine me as your lawyer? We both going to jail.
Let me say, lock up.
Be in contempt and your ass going to be.
Lock up. You be in that courtroom.
If it goes down, Georgia Brown, I ain't gonna understand if I swing while you ain't following up. We got to figure something out.
Say, lock me up with my client.
What's still say? So we can work on our case.
Okay, put me in jail with my client. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Kissing Pink. It was a time. Okay, I'm older now. I can't do it. That don't mean I don't enjoy me a good Hennessy and lemonade. Do say lemonade or something. I'm just saying I can't do that. So what I'm getting at is that back then I could have faced all that. Somebody could have took 3 shots with me and not been able to walk. You see what I'm saying? I would have been just fine because I had that tolerance then. I just feel like these people drank a lot.
Yeah.
Often they had a specific cadence of drinking, like every day that ended in Y was a possible drinking day. Like
wait a minute.
Because they drank a lot. I mean, like even getting together before the kids' games. Like who consumes a beverage before a kids' basketball game? Like
after the games, they did. I think there's nothing to do there. So this is what they did.
This is what they do. So I do believe that a lot of these people, while if we would have participated with them, we would have never made it to the season. We wouldn't have made it from McCarthy's. Okay, we'd have been at home in the bed, sleep, and then when the blizzard came, we'd have never saw it. We'd have been recovering for days.
6 drinks and they were weak pours. Well, she had 3 drinks that were weak pours, so I had it's like literally a double shot, is what I heard. I don't care how
to those to make it right, and then when she didn't do it, you know. John said, we don't abuse alcohol over here. We take it with us if you ain't gonna finish. He was gonna finish that, okay?
No.
So we didn't call it a motorcycle brandy. We call it a Blue Muff and an Incredible Hulk. And it's a place out here that still make them. I had those not too long ago, and I sat on TikTok and stirred it till it turned green. And somebody said that looked like bad decisions and regret. I said it's gonna be because I am not this young anymore. But it was a time. It tastes like the king of crump. Okay, it tastes like scrap. It tastes like Scrappy was getting ready to come out the side. Don't want no problems. Okay, it tastes like OKKK. Okay, it tastes like if you scared, go to church. Like it tastes like all of those things, and I was just feeling it. Like, hey, DJ, you got this song? Like we were there. It tastes like a little Pastor Troy. Okay, it just was a little 8-ball MJG. Listen, so I just think that attempting to guess if she was, you scary. Yeah, I just think that attempting to guess whether or not she was inebriated is going to be a bit of a stretch, because even 2 to 3 times the legal limit, she might have been able to walk a straight line and actually do a pirouette while somebody else may not be able to get up out their seat. So I just don't think that one, without a sobriety test of some sort, that we can even say whether or not we can assume that she was. And then just because Hank was hollering blood tests, we know that was not a whole blood test.
Yep.
It was actually not the test.
Hopefully they know that.
I hope they caught stuff like that, because what I saw today was a level of desperation I never want to see in a professional ever. I would never want to see another analyst in some sort of comparison or some sort of competition with me, and they just resort to rounding up and guessing, and it just looks crazy. And for Hank to just resort to calling it a whole blood test when he knew it wasn't, and there was a whole argument about that and a whole situation about that testing, saying that they made up a dog when he know good and well there was a dog.
But this is normal for him, though. This is normal.
He crashed out. Yes, Queen Victoria, he crashed out. I just think that hopefully we don't take a page out of Hank's book and say, oh, because Buchanan counted sips, she must have been drunk.
Yep.
If we're going to take Buchanan's word, then there were at least 3 to 4 other people that said, I talked to her, I was with her, I was around her, I had no qualms about her driving that car, I felt no way about her drinking. And furthermore, this is just my opinion, nobody called John drunk either. But no, we heard, huh?
I thought Hank said that in his closing.
Well, Hank might have said that John was drunk, but Hank is going by what
they was
heard what John's blood alcohol level was after being out in a blizzard and frozen for 6 hours, allegedly.
Yeah.
The man was drunk. Okay, the fluid behind his eyes was still drunk when they warmed him up. So for that, what I'm saying is nobody ever said John was drunk. Nobody said John was stumbling. Nobody said John was drunk. So if John wasn't drunk and we heard the numbers he had up in his body, Karen wasn't even that.
It had to settle or something because, again, I go back to Karina. Karina said she talked to her for 50 minutes.
Well,
only that 50 minutes, you would know if they were drunk or not.
Not only would you know if they were drunk, but I would imagine that Karen drunk, I would expect the behavior that everybody said out of her being a parrot and repeating things over and over again and yelling things and asking the same questions over and over again. I would expect that from somebody who was drunk.
Yep. That's why I think she was by that time. I think she was.
I don't think she was. By that time, I think it was absolute grief. Like, what the fuck?
You think so?
What happened? I do.
I can see both.
I do, because if you were...
I could see both.
That she was drunk, and I'm gonna tell you why. I do believe that Karen thought things was bad. I do believe that Karen thought things weren't going well. I do believe she was frustrated, but she was never frustrated enough to move back to her house.
And he wasn't
enough to show up for them kids. She wasn't frustrated enough not to take them kids to school. She wasn't frustrated enough not to call him, because a woman with no kids, no obligations, her own phone, her own home, her own car, her own life, don't even live in that city, has absolute zero obligation to come back and pick that kid up from school. If anything, that relationship, those kids, those activities, that added a level of stress to her life that she never even had to have. Practices and games and dealing with these people and these soccer moms, and plus you got to go to work and all of that. Oh, she was very clear on the 53 voicemail.
I said she sounded clear and pissed to me.
She was extremely clear.
She was.
And the most clear that came out to me was, I'm here with your kids and nobody knows where you are, you effing pervert. What was going on in that house? She knew what was going on in that house. She knew the type of stuff that was going on in my house. And you know who I think is the biggest culprit?
Who?
I got to look at my feet, Levison. I think she's a freak off. I'm going
to tell you, I was personally going to say Caitlin. Maybe Caitlin was why she was saying that. And she didn't mean pervert like underage child. Just the fact that Caitlin is so
much. Get down. What they get down? Yeah.
Remember, Caitlin was at the bar. Caitlin was at the bar. Didn't speak to her either. Her mama didn't speak. Brian didn't speak. Oh, but now you want to go to their home. It may have been Caitlin. I'm
going to say, allegedly, anybody who mama and daddy so disgusted with you that they drop you off and don't care how you get home in a blizzard, that means you got shower rods and ceiling fans, and there's just a level that your parents just get off. Go on with your filthy stuff. Go on and drop you off. I don't care how you get home. Like, there is something about Levison that we just don't know, and I would like her to tell the truth, because at this point,
I'm sorry, Sarah. That little whatever supposed to be birthday party told me all I needed to know about Big Juice, Sarah, and Brian Albert Jr. They ain't got no friends. They each other friends.
They do, but sometimes allegedly, they'll mess with who would do what they want to do, and maybe the other girls wasn't willing to do what Levison do when she look at her feet. I'm just saying, they just.
I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have that. Will there be a special verdict wind down? Well, of course, if there's a verdict, I thought we were gonna get it today. I said, "Oh, it's gonna be fun."
I said, "Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming." Yeah, there has to be a wind down as of the verdict. It absolutely has to be. Of course, we'll each be live when the verdict is read. Yeah. There has to be an absolute wind down, baby. There has to be. To be honest, you said it's time for bed. Okay, Miss Pooh. I'm just saying, anybody that sit at a, don't nobody want to be bothered with nobody that long, Miss Pooh. Just hear me out. Somebody come over your house before dinner and they don't leave to damn near breakfast for a party. Like, ain't nobody about to just be bothered with you that long. That's one thing some people can't stand, is somebody who don't know how to go home.
She did.
And if she don't know how to go home, that's because
I'll get a ride.
they didn't mind. And why wouldn't they mind in a house like that? I'm just saying.
Here's the thing too. When Big Juice's brother came, they stayed maybe maybe an hour, maybe right at an hour, 15 minutes later. So I was like, what was going on at 1 a.m? But okay, I digress. I'm not
So we will do one again. Hop on with the millionaires. Go see your cousins on Monday. I'll probably be in and out of there. Absolutely. We'll see what happens on Monday as far as the verdict. What else? I'll probably put up a stream once I leave, just in case they accidentally go into a verdict. But I really think it's going to be Tuesday, guys.
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. If it gets to Wednesday, I'm going to be nervous.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday. Something like that.
I honestly feel like if they come back Monday, Bev's going to send them back.
Lexi, we got to figure it out, friend. We're going to figure that once we get the verdict for this trial, we'll do something, and we'll figure it out.
We can definitely do one. If I would absolutely, if you're going to watch Mama Adelson, which I think she's coming in August, so that might be a little tough with Koberger, because I don't think Koberger is going to be quick. But definitely go watch your son. Go watch the dentist. Just go watch watch that. It wasn't too long. I have to look it up, but maybe get the Adelson before Mama Adelson. We have on the 20th, there's a status hearing for Jarvis Butts in regards to Isaiah Harris. I think it's his last status hearing, or the only other scheduled status hearing prior to his trial starting in August. And then after August, his trial starting in October. After August, we have Melly in September, which it's been nonsense going on with that.
Yeah.
So Melly in September, Koberger in August, Melly in September. There's both Jarvis Butts and Tim Harrington in October. I'm missing something for September. December starts the retrial of case for Justice for Casey Goodson Jr. And then usually courts are usually dark around December, early January because of the holidays, but it looked like Ohio going to be in court. And then February of 2026, the nightmare NICU nurse who did all those fractures to all those melanated babies on camera, she's up to 20 charges now. And she's taking this to trial. So she'll be going February of 2026. So we got trials to watch. And in between there's always little regular trials that be like 3-4 days.
Yes.
All right. I think we have done quite a bit today, but we are in verdict watch. Anything else, friend?
No, friend. Thank you guys so much for all of the super chats, for liking the live, keeping the vibes together here. And I don't know what we're gonna do on Verdict Watch. I'm sure over the weekend we'll talk about it. Probably, I know me personally on my page, there was some testimony I missed. So I plan to go back and watch that testimony.
Okay. Yeah, we might. That might be a wind down, friend. We have to talk about it.
Okay.
The actual reading of the verdict, that might be a wind down since it plays on both.
Yeah.
On both. That might have to be a wind down. We might have to get together, and no matter the time of day, okay, have us something in ginger.
Okay, we're ready. That sounds like a plan to me. So that's what we can do. When the verdict, so we'll talk about it. We'll
put it together.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.